Dear members, dear victims, dear Icator supporters, it is now time to give you an update on Icator's developments and projects. As you know, since some time we are in negotiations with the United Nations to be able to present our work for the victims of psychological harassment campaigns and electronic terrorism. For organizational and budgetary reasons specific to our association, this presentation, originally planned for March in the form of a side event at the CRPD committee session, had been postponed to August this year. It now turns out the United Nations themselves are facing significant budgetary restrictions. Consequently, at this stage, they are not sure they can hold their summer session hosting the Icator event and presentation. However, when opportunity strikes, we need to be ready with the preparation of our human and financial resources. Our lawyers are aware of these developments and are ready to undertake the trip to Geneva with us, adapting their vacation plans to Icator's needs. However, having received a few donations from Spain, for which we sincerely thank the donors, we are at the moment not in a position to finance this mission. Furthermore, we have more legal fees than usually, as we made various changes to the board of directors, which were necessary, as we had to face many costs caused by legal proceedings that had been initiated and pursued without a reasonable basis by two former board members. These former board members have been excluded from the Icator board by majority vote, as it was obvious that the primary intention of these proceedings had been harassing or causing financial or emotional distress to Icator, especially their fellow board members, actively involved in Icator's lobbying work and prevent us from reaching our organizational goals. Meanwhile, these vexatious actions have cost Icator thousands of euros in legal and additional accountancy fees, part of which still need to be settled to close this court case finally. We therefore call on all our donors worldwide to be able to honor these fees with our different suppliers, to be able to continue our work for the benefit of all victims of remote influencing technologies and torture in Europe and beyond. It is in this vein that, after having organized the journalistic coverage last summer by a knowledge program of a German mainstream media, having flown to Denver, Colorado to the International Targeted Individuals Awareness Raising Day, to interview main players and stakeholders in this political fight for the protection of victims of cruel, inhumane or degrading treatment or punishment, I have now participated in a British broadcast. This interview, to be broadcasted by mainstream TV channels, features, besides Icator, represented by my voice, various representatives concerned with military medical ethics in the US Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, and other governmental agencies, is planned to be published this summer. Hoping that the broadcast will coincide with this year's Remote Influencing Technology Torture Victims Awareness Raising Day and our UN presentation in Geneva, pursuing the same objective of educating the public on this alarming human rights concern, we will disseminate it to our members and supporters upon its publication. These are Icator's main projects for the summer. To be able to realize them, as well as to continue preparations for a medical clinic specialized in the care and treatment of this cruel human experimentation with implantable devices and directed energy weapons deployed against the civilian population, we must ensure our financial viability. We therefore urgently call on you, our members and donors, to settle your outstanding membership fees and help us with your generous donations as best as you can, as they are the prerequisite for all the work we can and want to perform for the benefit of all electronic torture and covert harassment victims worldwide. Until then, on behalf of Icator, I thank you in advance for your support. United, we are strong. Thank you and goodbye.